Welcome, witches, to your new moon ceremony. I'm so excited. This new moon is really intense. It's in the sign of Scorpio, which usually makes us go really deep and dark and really get into these feelings that we've had and that we've maybe perhaps ignored. And it's funny, when I sat in meditation today, I actually started to get the information about what this Scorpio full moon really is about. What the guides were telling me is that this Scorpio new moon is all about a different kind of manifestation. And a lot of times when I sit in my psychic meditations, I get information that I don't really understand. And so the angels have to kind of teach me what I'm seeing, because I'll see images and I'll be like, why am I seeing this? This doesn't make sense. So when I tuned in to the Scorpio new moon, the image that I got was a beautiful woman just laying across, one of those fainting couches. And she was dressed like beautifully, but she also had papers and scrolls all around her. She had tools around her. She wasn't, some kept woman that just happened to faint on this beautiful couch. It was a woman who really was doing a lot of work in the world and a lot of effort. And so when I went into that a little bit deeper, Spirit was telling me that this new moon is really all about learning how to manifest from a feminine perspective. So normally when we think of manifestation, and especially in the self-help world and the new age world, we think about setting intentions and changing your thoughts and making goals and putting actions out in the world and doing, which is all masculine energy. And if you followed me for any time, you really understand that I'm somebody who advocates that all men and all women, all humans need to fully develop their masculine side as well as their feminine side. That as humans, we're both. And angels are both too, which is just amazing because we are really angels incarnate on this planet. So when we don't allow and understand when we use our masculine energy and when we use our feminine energy, we can get into some problems. And so Spirit was telling me that this Scorpio new moon was really about putting aside the masculine energy of manifesting and really learning how to manifest from a place of rest. And as I looked into it deeper, this woman who was laying on this couch, just completely exhausted, she had this little smirk on her face, maybe a little bit more than the Mona Lisa smirk, but there was something just sort of beguiling about it and dangerous and sexy. And what is this about? And as I asked Spirit about it, Spirit told me that women have this inherent gift to manifest from a place of pleasure. And we can't be in pleasure if we are in action. Okay? We cannot be in pleasure if we are in action. Pleasure is receptive. Right? It might take an action to get to the receptive state, right? And that's where we were talking about balancing our masculine and feminine. But once we get to that receptive state, we need to switch over into that feminine energy so that we can receive, so we can be that woman on the fainting couch resting, but also receiving the gifts of Spirit. And as she was smiling on this couch, I just saw the heavens open up and all of this beautiful love and energy and golden light and gifts and money and food and chocolate and just everything just started to shower down onto her as she almost slept, like she was being so passive but fully receptive. And so what Spirit really wants me to communicate to all of you Witch and Womb subscribers is that this moment in time, there is a huge infusion into the world of learning how to receive and manifest through receiving. So we've talked a lot, in our society about how important it is for women to receive, but we've never really talked about how that is an avenue for manifestation. So I'm really being told and guided that this is a big secret in the universe. This is something that not a lot of people really understand. And so at this full moon, at this time, there is a portal opening. And this portal is basically like the heavens opening that I saw in the vision of all of these gifts basically coming down, showering each and every one of us. But the only way that we can receive them is if we really allow ourselves to be in a place of pleasure and receptivity. So today, tomorrow, basically through the end of the week, Spirit really wants you as much as you can to find little moments of receiving, little moments of rest, and little moments of pleasure. So now, how do we do that when we are so active and we have, families to take care of and work to accomplish and friends to see and meals to cook and all of these action oriented things that we do every day as women? How do we find those little moments? Well, in our ceremony tonight, that's one of the ways that you can do that. So if you join along in the rest of this video and follow along with us, this is really a time for you to recalibrate where you are and set the intention that you are going to learn to receive in the little moments, even if you don't know how to do it. That Spirit, your Spirit, will guide you in learning how to do that each and every day of your life so that you can manifest from action, from your masculine energy, and you can also manifest while you're sleeping, when you're receptive, when you're dreaming, when you're indulging in your own pleasure. So, that's such beautiful wisdom. Thank you, Spirit, so much. It's very incredible and exciting to get new information from the Akashic Records. And if you have any questions about what this means specifically for you, I would love to do a reading for you. Just let me know, reach out to me, and we can figure that out together. But if you are all ready, let's go ahead and move into our ceremony. So before we begin, I just want to do a little bit of paperwork, so to say. The things that you will need before this ceremony are a pen and paper, a cauldron, or some kind of fireproof bowl that you can burn, because part of our ceremony will be burning what no longer serves us, so we'll definitely need that. And I have a lot of candles here, but you will need at least one candle, because when we get to a certain part in our ceremony, we'll be lighting a candle, and it would be really helpful if you had one. And if you don't have one, no worries. All of this stuff can be done actually psychically and in your mind's eye. So if you have none of this stuff and you're sitting at work and you got a moment to do this new moon ceremony, then just go ahead, sit back, close your eyes, and just pretend and imagine that your altar is in front of you. So speaking of altars, I just want to share what I have on mine, because I do get a lot of questions about what is an altar, what do I put in it, and an altar basically is just a sacred space in your home, in your office, and it can be anything. It can be incognito, like it just be, like a little area you designate, or it could be something that you actually create. So this is my new moon ceremony altar. I also have a new moon altar that I use and I let it sit in my home, and I put it out underneath the new moon. But this is the altar that is specifically for my ceremony. So I have collected things that have important meaning for my life and for my magic. So I have a little fertility doll that I've been blessed with when I went to Africa, and an African shaman gave me that. As some of you know, we've been struggling to have a baby, and we have some fertility issues. So this is one of the things that I really like to include on my new moon ceremonies. I have crystals that mean a lot. So I have some rose quartz and celestialite and just regular quartz and lapis. Lapis is a huge one for me. And then I also have a few obelisks for the masculine power. And I am obsessed with the bees and the fairies, and they mean so much to me, so I always include them on my altar. And this is just a little talisman that I created for bee and fairy energy. And then I have a lot of light because I want to bring in the light during the new moon. The new moon is a time of darkness, a time of going within. And a lot of times we can't illuminate the truths in our lives if we don't have light. So I always like to have a lot of candles that I just set the intention of illuminating the truth through this full moon. I also have some other magical objects. I got this in Glastonbury. It's so bizarre. It's a piece of wood, but it looks like an animal or a fossil, and it feels so magical to me. And I love using this in my magic, so I always keep her on my altar. And I'm a big feather person. I love feathers. Feathers find me all the time. This is a seagull feather, and I like to keep feathers on my altar to represent air and mind and to help, swoop away negative thoughts and banish any negative mental energy. The other thing that I have on my altar are my frankincense. I think it is one of the most powerful essential oils. I often anoint my candles with frankincense because it just really infuses the energy and it smells amazing. The other thing I like to do with frankincense is put it over my third eye because I tend to just get so much more activation that happens when I do my ceremony, when I have some frankincense on me. And then finally, I love, love, love sacred basil. This is a flower essence and it is so beautiful. It says, supports healthy vitality, inner wisdom, and immunity. And I really find that for psychic work, this is just insane for me. So I just put a couple drops under my tongue before I begin my ceremonies. Perfect. And then I also have my new moon journal. So my new moon journal is really an incredible journal. It has like this old, I'll show you some of the paper, it's like this old feel, and it just feels really magical, and the outside, the touch of it is just gorgeous. And for those of you that bleed with the new moon, one of the best things that you can do is paint your journal pages for your new moon journal with your menstrual blood. It activates it in such an incredible way, and I found every manifestation, every wish, every dream that I've ever done this with has come true, and has come true miraculously. So I highly recommend painting your new moon journals with your menstrual blood, and especially if you're bleeding now, so powerful because it's coming right from the body right into your journal. Okay, so that's everything that you need for this ceremony, and also just an overview of what I have. So the first thing that we're going to do is open our circle. You can do that with some sage or some of the psychic skills that I teach in my Reclaim Your Psychic Powers Masterclass, or drumming as well. I drummed as this video opened to set the space for the video and for our ceremony. And sage can be really powerful in clearing the energy and setting a circle. So as I let this burn, I like to whisper little miracles and messages of love and incantations of love over my candles. And I also like to put it around myself too. And if there's any blocks I feel in my life, in my body, I just allow it to burn away with the sage. So let's all begin with a couple deep breaths that felt really, really good. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Beautiful. So I open this circle, I call forth all of our guides, guardian angels, archangels, master guides, our ancestors, and all of the light beings who support us with love. I ask that we completely be surrounded by love and light, by the violet flame and the blue ray. And I ask that anything that approaches this energy be instantly transmuted into love by the light. I ask our guides to keep this space grounded for us, to keep our intentions grounded for us, and to help us integrate this new way of being, this new way of fully allowing our feminine, receptive energy to manifest easily in our lives. And so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. So I'm being guided that it would be a great time right now for you to settle in and think about what it is that you want to let go of in this new moon. New moon is generally about new energy, about creation, about the potential of what could be. But I've found in my experience that we can't create unless we destroy first. So destruction is a huge psychic gift that we have. And we want to make sure we incorporate it in our creation and our manifesting. So if today we are manifesting receptive manifestation, where we're allowing the energy of what is coming to us to come to us easily and quickly, let's think about the things that we actually want to destroy. So just for a moment, grab your journal and your pen and sit back and relax. I'm going to do the same thing with you guys. And let us write down everything that we want to let go of. So it can be things like habits or ideas or thoughts, or maybe even more direct things like letting go of forcing things to happen or being too willful or not allowing the receptivity or that feminine energy to come in. So just take a moment, and this is very personal. This is whatever you want. So go ahead and write it all down. And we'll take about a minute. And when you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and just burn it in our cauldrons, in our fire bowls, so that we can release it in the world. So let's go ahead and start now. Okay, so I'm ready. And what you're going to do is you're going to just take that piece of paper and you're going to burn it in your cauldron. But before you do it, it helps to say it out loud, because words are really magic. Words are power. As I speak, I create. That is the meaning of abracadabra. It's pretty crazy, I know. So let us speak our intentions and our releases out loud. So for me, I release all force, all willingness, all anger, all frustration, and all shame. I release all things that keep me small and unseen. I release all attachment to my life happening the way that I want it to happen. I release all effort, competition, or need to fight. So I like to fold it up to make sure that the energy gets really tight and compounded. And then as I burn it, I allow the energy to be transmuted into something different, into new magic, into a new way of being. And just allow your body to feel what it feels to release everything you just released. Notice if there's starting to get more room, more space in your body and in your spirit. And I always find it so interesting how long something takes to burn. For me, I've noticed that the things that are harder for me to let go of take a lot longer to burn. So this is quite a long burning. I am definitely somebody who often likes to force her way through things. I have very strong willpower. I could basically make anything happen in my life. So this information about doing it a different way, look at this. It's incredible. This is real for me. Alright, so as that continues to burn, I'm going to just explain the next part of the ceremony. Look at this, you guys. This is crazy. Okay, sorry. It was getting a little bit crazy, so... Okay, there we go. Finally. Sorry, that was really intense. Wow. But I'm so glad that it got removed. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about the next part of our ceremony, which is really creating our manifestations and our intentions. So I know I said you only need one candle, and you do, but I usually like to have two. I have one for the new moon, and just to honor her energy and really bring in her power. And then the second, to honor what sign the moon is in. So, for example, this candle is red because it's a Scorpio, and I know Scorpio is a water sign, but there's just this fiery energy to Scorpio that is very, very passionate. And so I always like to have red be a passionate color. It's why I'm wearing red lipstick today, because I just really want to honor that Scorpio energy. So as we start this next part of the ceremony, I'm just going to light the candle, calling in the energy of the new moon and calling in the energy of Scorpio, of passion, of fire. And we just ask that the Scorpio energy and the new moon energy do everything for us so that we don't have to do anything, so that we can fully embody our manifestations and our desires. So what we're going to do now is open up our journals, and I want you to sit for a moment and write down everything that you wish to manifest over the next 28 days. And if you have painted blood on your journal pages, go ahead and write those on those pages. Okay, so if you're done, you can go ahead and follow along. If you're not, just pause the video. And what we're going to do is, normally I like to plant my new moon intentions underneath the new moon at night. But I'm really being called that this new moon, it's great just to allow the new moon to soak up the energy of your intention. So what we're going to do is, over the candle that you lit, over the new moon candle, I'm going to go ahead and just set the intention of allowing that new moon energy to absorb completely your intentions. So we call upon the new moon energy to infuse our desires with ease, with grace, with indulgence and acceptance. We ask the new moon in Scorpio to please allow us and teach us to become active, receptive women, to be the woman lying on the couch, indulging in her acceptance of what is true and what is already coming to her. May we find ease in the everyday moments and flow. And so it is. So you can go ahead and leave your new moon intentions out underneath the moon tonight just to soak up all that energy. Spirit is telling me that she will be the one to bring your dreams into fruition, so you don't have to, that you actually can have permission to relax and rest. And so in order to finish our ceremony, it's important to do something that embodies the energy that we've just conjured up and that we've just created. So one of my favorite ways to do it is to sing and to drum. But if you feel like dancing or stretching or maybe just sitting and meditating, whatever works for you to embody this energy, go ahead and do it. And do it with your eyes closed so that you can just fully get into your own self and your own energy. So I'm just going to drum for us a little bit. And so it is. So thank you, women, so much for joining me on this new moon ceremony. Let me know if you like this and if you want me to continue to do ceremonies with you guys every month or twice a month at the new moon and the full moon. I love doing ceremonies, and I personally have found so much magic happen in them. I've manifested work and love. I've even manifested my husband, believe it or not, through magic. So I just really, really, really believe in the power of ritual and intention. And that being said, I also want to say that my way isn't the right way for everybody. So if you do something different or you have another pull to your heart, like, go with that woman, really. What you need, what you want, how you want to create your space, that's your magic, and that's what makes it really potent and very powerful. So just please go with your gut, go with your intuition, go with your womb, and enjoy. And if you're one of the people that doesn't know what to do quite yet, then just follow along with me and let yourself absorb it and see how it feels. So thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you guys on social media or on our website. Love you all, witches. Happy new moon. Bye-bye.